I love Dai Li because not just did she defeat KK 3 years ago, what she has done as an independent member of parliament is so much more substantive than the sort of fake members that parade to be independents. I've watched her ask hard questions, cost of living questions, when everyone else was looking the other way. I've seen her advocacy. She is absolutely passionate about her local area and not just saying things but taking up a fight on their behalf. So I hope she does get re-elected. Labor, of course, have put the person in who probably should have been the candidate 3 years ago, but Dai joins us now. Dai, how's the election feeling? Again, anyone who follows you on social media knows morning, noon and night. You're out there, you're out there, you're out there. You'll deserve a break at some point in time, but it won't come until at least 20-something days from now. How are you feeling?
Look, it's pretty good, Paul. Obviously, the work that I do hasn't stopped since the day I got elected. Nothing has changed, really. I suppose with election around the corner, it's the additional work of preparing booth kits, preparing volunteers, getting volunteers, designing your HTV, because of course you're an independent, you don't have the machinery to do all of that organising for you. But look, it's been very good being out there in the community, and as you know, I've been I didn't leave it to the last 4 or 5 weeks to door knock. I've been door knocking since last year, and understanding the needs of my community. And I think I've spoken on your show before, calling for the fuel excise tax cut to be reintroduced, because that will help at least, families. 70% of our community drive cars out here, petrol-fueled cars, because we drive long distances. And we don't have the East-West Metro, which the state government and the federal government basically, took it off the map. And that means lost opportunities for our young people, for our families to connect to the Western Sydney Airport. There's so many things that I think that the Anthony Albanese Labor government have really forgotten, continue to forget Fowler and Southwest and Western Sydney. It sounds like they're announcing billions of dollars here and there, but really, when you look at the crux of it, what have they really done for families? A few days ago, I was at a trivia night at a local club, and there's about 100 people. And a few of the people came up to me and said, they're so angry because they have, obviously the cost of food has gone up, petrol price have gone up. For them, the 13 interest rate rises has caused them a lot of pressure, even though we've had one reduction in interest rate.
Doesn't touch your sides. So give me an idea too. And I ask this question respectfully, but obviously there's a very significant number of people who speak languages as well as English in and around the community. When you've got to talk to lots of people in lots of different ways, what's different than, say, a campaign in the pretty white places like the northern beaches of Sydney, where there's this quite complicated diaspora? How do you campaign? Do you go via organisation to organisation? What's different? Give me an idea.
Oh, look, Paul, I think it's about working with the community. I wouldn't call it, I know politicians call it campaigning, at the moment, because they're all coming out in the last 5-6 weeks, going out and making announcements. But for me, for instance, for the month of April, for instance, from the 1st of April, we have the Assyrian New Year, and they're different groups, so they celebrate it. For the last one was on Friday night, and then we have also the Laotian Australian Community New Year, which was started one last week, and I attended one today. And then next week we have the Cambodian New Year, and of course we have the Anzac Day, and we have all of these community cultural events that I participate and I get invited to be part of, and so that's, for me, it's about community engagement and understanding. And when you go to these events, you get to hear of people's stories and struggles, and I don't know if politicians like the Prime Minister and all his ministers or any other senior ministers and MPs are actually on the ground and listening to what the community are telling them, because I certainly do. I feel like I'm one of the people, my community. I'm there listening to them and actually ensuring that what they're telling me gets translated in terms of policy or bringing that to the federal parliament. And I've been doing that for the last 3 years.
Well, and again, and I say that to get a greater understanding about the task of being the local MP. It's already difficult and all of those other complexities. But honestly, I think you've been a phenomenal addition to the parliament. I hope you're there for another 3 years. Whatever support we can, we throw your way. If we need to talk to you again before the election, we will. But tell us, how do people find you online? How do they help you out in the next couple of weeks?
Yes, please. People want to volunteer. Obviously, I don't have the machinery. Please do contact me on my website, the support.dailee.com.au. And you can find a form in there to volunteer, to donate, because obviously, again, I'm spending my own money, and I have a few donors already, people from, donating $100, $1,000 from across the country. And I've been very grateful because that's going to help with my campaign. So, yes, I'll be grateful for all the support that I can get.
Good stuff. dailee.com.au, dailee.com.au. I'll put it up on our socials so we get it in front of many people's eyes. All the best, mate. We'll talk to you again before and definitely after the election. Thank you, Dai Lee, an excellent local representative.